Now that you understand the foundations of the menstrual cycle and an overview of the fluctuations of your hormones and how that can affect your energy levels and mood, let's deep dive a little bit into tools and resources for tracking your cycle, but also why I find it so critically important, especially for your productivity, especially if you are really wanting to harness each phase rather than work against each phase. It is so important to be tracking your cycle yourself and not listening to an app. So there's a few reasons why I am such a huge advocate for using the period tracker that I'll have linked below for you to download, either fill out on your computer or your iPad or your phone, or print it out. But if you are constantly being told that you should have cramps at this phase of your cycle, or you should be bloated, or you should be craving sweets, or you should have cramps, you know, the notification that comes up on your phone when you use an app and it's reminding you of these symptoms that should be presenting within your body, rather than you firstly asking your body, how am I feeling today? You're probably just going to open your app and simply click yes cramps, yes bloating, or I should feel nauseous, and then you're going to click nauseous, right? Like, these things just happen. It's like any limiting belief that's placed upon us within our subconscious mind. If the seed has already been planted, it's so much easier to follow through with that rather than actually connect in with what is your truth. And this also takes away from being so deeply connected to yourself. So I'm a huge advocate for handwriting and connecting in with your body, because it allows you to actually see how you are feeling within your cycle, within each phase, and it begins to build the connection in your body, especially too if you have no idea how to articulate the different phases, or you don't know the difference in the feeling in your body, you're not sure how to track your discharge, all of these things. That's just going to build on top of overwhelm and stop you from ever having deep self-trust within your body. And if you're listening to when an app is telling you that you're ovulating, or an app is telling you that your period is due, if your period is actually just running a few days late because you ovulated a few days late, you're going to start stressing out, and it's just absolutely not ideal. Another thing I want to add is an app cannot predict when you have been stressed, when you've had big life changes, when you've been traveling, if you've drank different water, if you've eaten certain foods. Yes, you can pop these things in, but it's not going to actually base your cycle off of these changes in your life. Yet these changes impact your menstrual cycle so much more than you realize, especially stress, and any stress on the body for that fact. So I invite you to start using this tracker that I have placed below for you. This is really going to allow you to start connecting in with your own body and checking what actually each phase feels like in your body. And you'll begin to actually get a gist of, is your cycle irregular? Is your cycle regular? Because sometimes as well, an app saying that your cycle is irregular, have you just accidentally forgotten to write it into the app, and you now think that you have a super irregular cycle, but maybe your cycle is just 32 days instead of 28 days. So it's just really going to allow you to feel empowered by your cycle and really understand your own body. And below, I'm also going to pop a little diagram, and it's just a simple photo from the Cleveland Clinic, and it's just going to show you the difference in your discharge in each days of your cycle. And in this, I just want you to have a look so that you can begin to connect in with what your discharge may be looking like at different phases of your cycle, so that moving forward, you can also use your discharge as an indication. And now when you're using your discharge as well, when you're tracking your cycle, it can be as simple as just looking in your underwear at the end of the day, or if you feel comfortable, actually checking in, popping your finger up inside your vulva just a little bit, just to see what your discharge is doing. And this can be a really beautiful practice to actually begin connecting to yourself. It doesn't have to be weird. It's literally your body just doing her normal functions, and you're building that trust within yourself. You're going to really begin to understand what phase you're in, and this is going to, in itself, optimize your productivity even more than you actually realize, because you're going to just feel so connected into yourself and know, my hormones are beginning to do this. These tasks feel really good for me. And as you can see in the period tracker, I just have simply just tracking your foods, your moods, and how your body is feeling. And this is as simple as it gets to be. It gets to be like a 2-minute journal entry at the end of each day. Pop it on your bedside table, or, if you're using it in your phone, just set an alarm to make sure you're doing this. But it's going to build that trust with yourself. And it's like creating a promise with yourself, right? It's like, I actually respect myself enough to take 5 minutes at the end of each day to just check in with my body and how I'm feeling. And I promise you, you're going to feel a whole lot better for it. Below is also going to be linked to the cycle chart. This cycle chart is an incredible tool. I actually created this originally for my partner because I was so sick of explaining what phase I was in and like having to say, I'm in my luteal phase, like leave me the fuck alone. I just want some time to myself. So printing out this cycle chart as well, popping it in your house, somewhere where you get to see it often. I have mine in the hallway. Maybe you want yours just in the bathroom or like in your bedroom. But it's particularly good for people who are living with you, like your parents or your partner or whoever it is that you might just want to also, come along on the journey with you, but maybe not as in depth, just so you can say, these are the 4 phases. These is like the basics of what like I'm going to be feeling. So please just like understand that like as a woman, I go through different fluctuations. I don't just go through the ebbs and flow in one day. It's like over a whole month, and sometimes I need a little bit more support. So it's an excellent tool for that. But yeah, this is practically everything I'm just covering here, is just building that self-awareness, building that self-trust, and building that self-connection so that you can actually connect in with your most productive self, because you're going to understand every single phase of your cycle. You're going to feel so connected to your phases, and it's just so, so good.